Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Colonial Sports Center on this 21st night of September. My name is Casey Irwin, and joining me, as always, is Cam Wickline. Cam, we've got a lot to talk about, a lot of sports starting up now, along with the ones that have been going on, and we've even got some breaking news about the women's soccer team.
We do. It is 3-0 in the women's soccer game versus Milwaukee. We knew going into this game this was going to be a big one for the Colonials. Milwaukee came in, although there hadn't been a ton of conference play yet, they were still leading the Horizon League. They had a 5-2-2 record on the regular season going into this game, so this was going to be a big prove-it game for the Colonials. So far, not exactly proving that test.
Yeah, RMU had never beaten Milwaukee up until this point, and right now it doesn't look like it again. Last year, almost a year, this exact day, RMU Colonials lost to Milwaukee 9-1 at Milwaukee again. So not the exact repeat, but it's looking pretty similar. Now we're going to go right into last football game where the Colonials visited Youngstown State Penguins. Colonials had never beaten Youngstown State as well, and these teams have not played each other in 4 years. Let's see how the Colonials did after following their first win in almost 2 years. And we'll start up into the first quarter. Youngstown State is already up 6-0. Chickett's going to take the shotgun snap. He's going to throw it up on the fade route for Noah Robinson. He comes down with it and scores, stumbling into the end zone. And there he waddles like a penguin against the Penguins. Look at the perfect pass, dropped right into the bucket, and Robinson is able to sneak his way, touch the pylon, and score the touchdown. Colonials lead. And now here we go, Tyshawn King, huge hole on the right side. He is way gone. Easy score, 32-yard touchdown for Youngstown State. Second quarter now, dropping back to pass. Pass is tipped and it falls right into the lap of Jamar Shagog. He is on the way. 20-15 is stopped by the big man inside the 10-yard line. A turnover for the Colonials. They haven't been doing that too much, so to see that is positive. Now they have to capitalize here. And here on the run play, and he's going to throw it into the end zone. Touchdown again for Noah Robinson, thrown by Chase Jackson. What a sneaky play for RMU to stay in that game. Now here, Youngstown State took the lead again. Once again, King on the right breaks a few tackles, breaks another one, stumbles in, touchdown Penguins. They go up 2 touchdowns on the Colonials. Now towards the end of the second half, another run. And this one is fumbled by Draw Rushton, who could not rush very far on that one. Muhammad for RMU knocked the ball loose. Colonials would take the ball, but not do much with it. Now, third quarter. Davidson drops back to pass. He moves out to the right and throws it to Serrano, and he scores quite easily. Lots of room and strength to break through, and he is swagging and dragging. Now, fourth quarter, the Colonials are pretty much out of it at this point. Zentavia Smith is in the game at quarterback. He can't find anyone, but goes up the middle, finds a huge hole, and look at him go. He's moving so much faster, and it looks like he's running, and outran everyone quite easily, as that would be the end of the game. Let's hear what Coach Bernard Clark had to say.
When you play a team that good as Youngstown, you can't have as many penalties as we had. You can't have as many missed tackles because they're going to capitalize, and that's what they did. They did a great job of capitalizing. They're a great football team. Today, yes, there's no doubt about it. We just needed to make some more tackles. A lot of guys running through arm tackles. And again, I don't like speaking hypotheticals, but it's a situation where if we make those tackles, we put ourselves in a much better position. You know, last week we hold the team to 6 to 8 yard rushing. I'm not sure how many yards rushing these guys had, but it wasn't even close to that. So we got to continue to do that. Did a good job of getting turnovers. Got 2 turnovers, 2+ turnovers. So we're in that category is pretty damn good. But when you make that many mistakes against a team that good, it's tough. You and I talked about it this week. It's a combination of the offensive line getting on the right blocks and moving the defensive line. It was just hard for us to move that defensive line today. Like I said, those guys were extremely good, but we got to get going. It's not something we're going to back away from. We're going to continue to get the running game going and get it where we need to have it.
Thank you, Coach.
A well-fought game by the Colonials, who have broken their streak of poor play recently. Another team that is looking to do so is the volleyball team. They have struggled as of late. Let's see if the squad could turn things around whenever they faced Wright State at the Event Center. We're going to pick things up with RMU down a few in the first set. Here we go. RMU is going to play Wright State here at the Event Center. Pick things up in the first set. RMU down a few early, But when Wright State goes for a kill, Hillary Adams comes through with the block. That's going to be one we might see a little later. Fast forward, Wright State is up 24-21, looking to end this set. But again, RMU's front line is going to come up big. This time, Rosina Espinito comes through with the block. Wright State would end up taking the set 25-23. On to the second set, where the Colonials have built a bit of a lead, and Macy McNamara gets set up by Alina Carmody. The Colonials would mount a significant lead for most of this set. Wright State would pull close late, and then you guys are going to see Arzra Eric would finally call it a set with the kill. RMU would take set 2, 25-22. That would be the last of the positives, however, for RMU. They ended up struggling late in this one. Wright State would end up coming away with the third set, and we are going to fast forward onto the fourth set. RMU trying to mount a comeback, but unfortunately, this one got a little bit ugly for the Colonials. Wright State got a kill here, and RMU really never made this set very close. The Colonials would fall in this set 25-6 and fall in the match 3-1. Not a great match for the Colonials.
The Colonials volleyball team were also at West Virginia University to take on the Mountaineers for the first time in 6 years. RMU went into the series with 3 wins and 8 losses against WVU, so let's see if they could get another win in the win column. And you can see here they cannot do it. It started out very close, 34-32 in the first set, and then the Colonials would go on to win the next set. And after that, it was once again downhill. The last 2 sets, not really that close. You see 25-13, 25-13 in both sets, though. Natalie Stepanovich, 20 kills, 24 digs. Hillary Adams, 15 kills. Ashley Wallen, 22 assists. She also had 5 aces. No other player on the court for both teams had more than 1. And this time, the Colonials just couldn't do it against such a big school that a lot of us are familiar with. And when we come back after this break, we'll have some special hors d'oeuvres to give you for both basketball teams, along with an update on the women's soccer team. See you right after this.
Thirty. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Run down.
1.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. That's CSC women's basketball.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost again. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's something I can count on to be free. If it's hopeless,
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Now, we've got our first look at both the basketball teams right now after this past Horizon League Media Day.
Yes, as everyone knows, basketball season is right around the corner. Sorry about that. Our Colby Sherwin is here to recap all the details for you.
From a buzzer beater to move on in the conference tournament to back with a full Colonial Crazy student section, Horizon League basketball will be back in the UPMC Event Center soon. Both the men's and women's basketball teams headed to Indianapolis to take place in Horizon League Media Day. The pair spoke about how they've been bonding as a team and how they believe it has helped them so far in the preseason.
Well, this year I feel like out of all the years I've been here have been the easiest for us to gel. I mean, we all live together in the same apartments and everything. We do team bonding stuff. We're always hanging out in someone's rooms, going to lunch together, going to dinner, going downtown to Pittsburgh. So I feel like a lot of that helps a lot with our team bonding and everything.
We do a lot of activities together. Like we're always bonding in the apartments, as she said, also at the cafeteria. So yeah, that's what we gel.
In his 20th year in the program, head coach Charlie Busaglia spoke about what he's learned and what he wants to see from the team this year.
Well, I think just always focusing on a healthy balance, between, practice and lifting and conditioning, and then also like they're talking about the bonding stuff we do. You can't lose that during the season. As your schedule gets more packed, you got to stay locked in with, a healthy balance because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
After the women's team's finished, it was time for the men's team. Head coach Andy Toole was joined by junior Jackson Last and senior Josh Corbin as they looked to build on an OT loss in the quarterfinals of the conference tournament. Toole spoke about what he's learned so far and how the team has continued to improve their time as Horizon League members.
I think last year we made a step in the right direction in the Horizon League. I think the biggest improvement we had was our ability to defend at a higher level, and that's certainly something that allowed us to be extremely competitive across the Horizon League season. And it's something we're continuing to focus on, continuing to discuss. We have 8 returning guys from last year's team, so they're more familiar with what we're trying to instill and what we're trying to work on each and every day, and just trying to become as consistent as we possibly can be on the defensive side of the ball.
After that, Last spoke about the team's game plan and how sticking to the defense will be big for the Colonials this year. Corbin also added his thoughts.
I think the teams that are successful are the teams that execute their game plan, game in and game out, and don't go away from that. And so we're just really trying to, like you guys have said, trying to improve at what we do, which we try to be a defensive-minded team. We want to hold teams, to not score. We want to make it really difficult. We want to, we want teams to not want to play us.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is just on that defensive side. Like you said, that's a very important thing in our program is defense. So just really being position perfect, as we say. So I would say that's a huge part. Obviously, like my ability to shoot the ball is what I do. So stepping up in that area too.
The women's team opens their season in Loretta, PA versus St. Francis on November 6th. Though their non-conference is not out yet, the men's team will compete in the Coaches vs. Cancer exhibition game versus Penn State right here in Moon Township on October 27th. For Colonial Sports Network, I'm Colby Sherwin.
There's your first taste of the basketball teams. We hope to see a much bigger improvement from last season for both the teams. And now we've got a quick update on the women's soccer team at Milwaukee. It is still 3-0 Milwaukee in the 78th minute now. Colonials cannot even get a sniff really of the goal no matter how much they put forward. It's just not their night right now at Milwaukee.
No, it is not, and that's something that happens during the season. Sometimes the team plays very well, sometimes they play pretty poorly like tonight. That being said, we're going to show you a game where the Colonials played out of their minds whenever they took on Green Bay up at the NAC. We are going to show you that right now as we head up to the NAC. And early in the first half, the Colonials are going to have a set piece. Kairu Hayoshi lines up and is going to curl one in near side for a goal. You guys haven't seen something like this in your entire life. You're going to watch this. Takes it up near side high. Goalie didn't really even have a chance. We are going to take another look at that one. But something that beautiful deserves it. Left foot working to her advantage as she just gets that beautiful lefty curl right into the goal. Only a few minutes later, the Colonials are looking for a little more. Misplay by Green Bay, and it gets to Malia Kearns, who sneaks it right past the goalie. That's not going to be the last we'll see of her today. Now on to Green Bay looking to attack, but Brenna Murray is going to have a beautiful save here. Wait until you guys see this one. It's going to create a lot of hubbub in front of the goal, kind of a mishmash of people. But Green Bay is going to end up coming up empty, if you can believe it or not. Now, we're going to move on to a corner for RMU. Elisa Corvlin heads it to Renee Moorbacher, who goes across the goal to give the Colonials a 3-0 lead. Moorbacher has been nothing short of outstanding so far this year. Now, what I've been waiting for, I'll hand it over to Colonial Sports Center's Sam Goldberg on live call.
Continuing their passing well. Here's a shot from beyond the 18! Goal! Malia Kearns! What a shot!
That fantastic call by Sam Goldberg. Ended up making it on Calls of the Week. And you're not going to hear one like that every day, and that's why we love that man. Moving on to the second half, where Colonials simply never let up. Haley Finale gets behind the defense and then puts one behind the goalie to give the Colonials a 5-0 lead. They would never relinquish the lead, surrendered a late one, but it little mattered. RMU wins this one 5-1.
Now we move on to men's soccer, where they played IUPUI Jaguars. In 2 games, they had never lost to IUPUI, and last year RMU even beat them 5-0. Let's see what happened this year. And right here you can see a narrow loss, 1-0, and really a dull game from both sides. Just a defensive masterclass really from both teams besides the one goal. It was a 63rd minute goal from Josemir Gomez for the Jaguars, he had 2 shots on goal. And for the Colonials, Josh Lane only had the opportunity to make 3 saves in general. Logan Gilly, all he could do was 2 shots, and Matutha, only 1 shot on goal for him. Really just such a defensive game, which unfortunately for the Colonials ended in just a 1-0 finish. And now after this break, we will be talking about cross country for once. Finally, we need to talk about them more. And the hockey team is back. We'll see you after this.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today, we face an unprecedented crisis. Tens of millions of refugees have been forced from their homes. But you can make a difference. Turn disruption and despair to hope and opportunity. Even small amounts make a big difference. Provide shelter, support, or jobs in your community. The more we understand, the greater sense of belonging we create. Act now. Visit supportcrisisrelief.org.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. We're going to get right into talking about some long-distance running with the RMU track team. They hosted the RMU Colonial Invitational recently, and first we're going to see how the men's team did. It's going to start with the men's team, who finished 3rd overall in the Invitational. You can see at 12th place was Tyler Pazkowski, sophomore, who finished with the top time for the Colonials of 24 minutes and 55 seconds, 97 milliseconds. As we move down, you can see it's a lot of similar times around the 24-25 range, and lots of sophomores and freshmen mixed in. You can see it's a very young team running for the Colonials, so their lungs can go forever, unlike mine, that's for sure. You can see right towards the bottom, Ethan Robinson finished at 30, and that would do it for the Colonials in the men's 8K.
Now the men's ran an 8K, but the women, they did a 5K at the RMU Colonial Invitational. The women ended up finishing 5th place out of the 8 teams that were there. Highest finisher for the Colonials was 23rd. That was Julia Dill, a sophomore who ran a time of 19 minutes and 73 milliseconds. Overall, a pretty good performance from the Colonials. A couple people placed in the 20s, 30s, and then a lot of people in the 60s through 70s. The team that ended up winning it was West Virginia, and rightfully so. The top 2 finishers were both from West Virginia. Top time in this event was 17 minutes, 27 seconds, and 40 milliseconds. Now we are going to go into what everyone is waiting for, a little bit of women's hockey. The poll for their conference finally came out, and we're going to see what people are thinking about those Colonials so far. They came in 3rd into their poll, which was honestly kind of surprising to me because No one really knows what they are yet because the team is brand new. They couldn't bring a lot of people back from their old teams, obviously.
I think it's just the remaining hype. They've had so
Exactly.
much legacy before the program started to die off because of some prior things. But you can see here, there's still so much belief in the team after years gone. So it's really still so exciting to see the team back and see how much belief everyone has in them to give them so many first place votes still.
Now, speaking of women's hockey, a former Colonial was just drafted in the 8th round of the PWHL draft by Toronto.
Brittany Howard was the former RMU hockey forward, and she was the first RMU player back when she played to win CHA Player of the Year award. 5 years ago as a senior, she had 49 points in 31 games with a 33 plus minus. Since then, she's been doing some pro stuff, and now she gets drafted in the 8th round, and RMU women's hockey shows some legacy in the pros, and hopefully you can see that legacy this season.
Yeah, she's a Canadian girl going back to Canada. Us as Colonial fans could not be happier to see her succeeding.
Yeah, you can see here, just look at the way she is gliding and sliding down the ice. You can see, bam, and whoop. Not even a chance. Brittany Howard, see her in the pros coming up. And for everything Colonial Sports and RMU Athletics, check out colonialsportsnetwork.com. CSN provides a platform for student-produced sports content, including previews, recaps, podcasts, and feature stories. Follow us on Twitter at RMU_CSN.
Now that we've got all of the news out of the way, it is time for top five plays of the week whenever we come back from break. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you right back here on CSN.
You want to meet a family with a transgender kid? Here we are. Max loves to do backflips. Max loves to play his ukulele. Max loves to just be a kid and just be himself. When I found out I was pregnant, all I really wanted was a happy, healthy, whole child. And that's what I got. I think it's really important for people to know that trans kids don't have a political agenda. They are just kids. Like any parent, we love our kids unconditionally, and we will never stop fighting for them. Stand with us. Protect our families.
Wait! Not in the toilet!
No, don't do that. No.
Don't hit your brother! Ooh!
Not again.
I tell you about playing in the mud.
Raffy, not so close to the pool. Wait!
Frankie, Tabby, what are you doing? We told you never to touch the gun!
I'm sorry, I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
You could have hurt yourself!
Safely store your guns, unload, lock, and away from ammo.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center once again. And once again, we do have an update on the women's soccer team. One last for you. In the 87th minute, the team is still down 3-0, but Brenna Murray has 7 saves. She is doing the best she can to stop Milwaukee, but in the end, it's just not turning out the way the team wanted to.
Unfortunate, whenever 3 goals have been let in, plus the goalie has 7 saves, that means the defense hasn't been doing a lot.
It's kind of unexpected, especially with the way the team started. It was clean sheet after clean sheet. So now the Horizon League play, the defense has to adjust, the midfield has to adjust to stopping these more higher-tiered offenses.
The big thing for the Colonials after this game is going to be not letting what happened last year happen this year. They performed outstanding in out-of-conference last year. Then last year got into conference play. Everything crumbled. They're going to have to nip this in the butt right now, make sure this doesn't keep happening. They need to play good soccer again, get back to what they were doing before, and win some more games. Now, it is time for my favorite part of the show, the top 5 plays of the week.
Finally, it is here. After 3 weeks, it has arrived.
We promise we got some top 5 plays for you guys. And I'll start you off with number 5. At number 5, we got some volleyball. You guys are going to see this. It's going to be a fantastic effort by Wright State to keep the ball up, but Arza Eric sees it come right to her for an easy kill. Just a beautiful play by the Colonials, and they're going to end up taking that set.
Absolutely straight down, no chance. You can see right here, just boop, right on her head. A little touch of brilliance right there. Now at number 4, we're going to stick back over with women's soccer against Green Bay. A little passing move here. Good job keeping possession by Nduka, who finds Curse as she's going to take on her woman and shoot the shot and chip right over the keeper, as you heard from the call from Sam Goldberg earlier. What a goal!
You know, Casey, I like it when you did it, but I think I might just have to give it to Goldberg. Goldberg had a beautiful call on that one.
Calls of the week for a reason from Sam Goldberg right there.
Moving on to number 3, a quarterback is going to take the snap. You may think it is Anthony Chickett, but nope, that is Zentavius Smith. Get your eyes on him while you can, because he is absolutely out of there. 60 yards to the crib.
The defensive backs, who are supposed to be real fast, couldn't even keep up with him at all. Hole right up the middle, took advantage, and like a lightning bolt was gone before you even noticed. Right there, down the Penguins' throat in garbage time, but nonetheless, a name to watch for the future of Colonial football. And now as we head over to number 2, it is still the football team against Youngstown State. That first quarter play you saw earlier as Chickett goes up, the fade route in the bucket, bang, stumbling, end zone, touchdown. Pylon touch and Penguin waddle. Even a review by the officials couldn't stop this one from being 6 on the board. What a throw by Chickett, the longtime Colonials quarterback, who has still been brilliant this season.
At number 1, you guys saw this one a little earlier. I was talking about how great it was, so you figured you might have seen this again at some point. Kaoru Hayashi scores a stunning goal when she bends this one inside the post. This was just a beautiful goal. Left foot working to her advantage. She was able to get that lefty curl. Let's take one more look at your CSC number 1 play of the week.
And the little prance on the end there to finish off top 5 plays, exactly how we're feeling. Prancing. And now as we go to our games to watch.
My game to watch for this week, although it isn't an official regular season game, I don't know how I couldn't pick the fact that women's hockey, has an exhibition game this week against the Cambridge Rivulets. Although it isn't an official game, it is just great to see the Colonials back out on the ice. I couldn't pick one player to watch, so I had to give you 2. Wazen Rice and Allison Hebert, both 2 of the 3 players that have returned to the team since it was cut. They stayed at RMU this whole time, and they've been rewarded for that by being named captains. I don't care what happens in this game, just excited to see the Colonials back out on the ice.
It's what everyone's been waiting this season. As you saw in that poll earlier, we're all excited for it, as I'm sure you are. Stay tuned for women's hockey. Now, for my game, I'm going to have to do the football game, the homecoming football game this weekend, Saturday, where the Colonials will take on UVA Lynchburg. For the Colonials, I've got Anthony Chickett, quarterback, to be the player to watch. You can see action shot right there, making a touchdown catch as the quarterback. He is one of 2 quarterbacks in the South DVC to have 0 interceptions so far this season. Now, for the Dragons, you may be questioning this pick, but I've got their kicker, Jacob Davis, as their player to watch. Now, you may be wondering why, and that is because he scored the most points this season with 7. So, with hopefully a good Colonials defensive performance, that kicker, he may be the one to watch.
So the Colonials, as you said, it's their homecoming game. This is going to be a big game to watch because this isn't a great Lynchburg team. They're even D2, and they are going to be wearing these, in my opinion, their best uniforms, the red uniforms. It is going to be a red out at the Joe for homecoming. A lot of people hate on these uniforms. I personally don't know what they're seeing. These uniforms are beautiful, as you guys just watched the hype video that RMU football has put out. It's going to be a big game for the Colonials. Hopefully they can get back to 2-2 because they've been playing, don't look at their record. They've been playing a lot better football this year after just the atrocity that was last year's football season. They're 1-2 so far this year. I understand they lost against Youngstown State, but
it
honestly,
was better.
They kept it close. Youngstown State is a very good team. Everyone knows that. wasn't much they could do against them, but they even kept it close in the second half, or into the second half, and I'm not going to judge them for losing to FBS Air Force. So far, the Colonials have actually outperformed my expectations.
Yeah, and those jerseys, a little bit of a classic New England Patriots-esque, so hopefully they can perform like a classic New England Patriots team. Now, that's all we have this week on Colonial Sports Center. We hope to see you all on homecoming weekend. See you next week.